Today's postgame video is brought to you by Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Well, Nebraska wins its second game of the year, 37-27 over Purdue. It was interesting. Lots of penalties, lots of carts coming out to cart away injured players, a lot of action on special teams, and a lot of big plays for Nebraska. They found a way today. They got a 17-0 lead early. That was crucial. That was important. They got it with special teams and defense, and then they held on late with just enough from their offense and enough playmaking from their defense. Let's talk quickly. Let's start with the Nebraska defense today. They gave up 189-yard play that was sort of a gaffe, and that happens, and that stinks, and so be it. But outside of that, Nebraska's defense today was really, really good. They forced 3 sacks on Purdue. They forced 4 holding penalties, which is really impressive. They got key stops again and again and again when Purdue got into Nebraska territory. They held them on a couple of fourth downs. They also got when Purdue blocked a punt at the end of the second quarter, they were able to hold Purdue to a field goal there, which I thought was an enormously key moment. Nebraska's defense was out there a lot, and they made a lot of big plays in this game. The special teams did its job early. They blocked a punt. That was Levi Falk. He had a hell of a game. My goodness. Made a bunch of key catches and also blocked a punt. Levi Falk blocks a punt. Nebraska recovers at the 1. They put that in the end zone. Cam Taylor-Britt is a 27-yard punt return. They start the drive at the Purdue 17. Martinez runs that in for a touchdown. They're up 17-0 before you can blink, and they were able to hold that lead for the majority of the day. It never really got within, I think, more than 7, and that was late in the game. So Nebraska kind of held Purdue at arm's length for most of the day, and they did that in part because of the special teams and the defense, of course, Nebraska's offense. Well, it's never perfect, right? Adrian Martinez had a good day, though. I mean, this is probably his best game of the season, probably his best game for some time. You probably have to go back to Illinois, and not because he jumped out at you in any which way, but because he had command of the offense and he made the plays when they had to make them late. The only mistake I really saw today was he slid on that scramble late in the game when he probably should have run it for a few more yards, and they would have been able to finish that game on the field. But you like what Martinez did today. He was under control. He ran the offense. Purdue's defense allows you to kind of run a short passing game, and Nebraska was consistently able to find those gaps against Bob Diaco's defense. Not a ton of big plays, but they found a way to kind of hit the 7s and the 5s and the 11s, and they were able to matriculate the ball downfield a couple of times. They had 3 pretty good drives, one to start the second half that was excellent. That was an important one. And so they were able to do some things in the game that kind of put, again, Purdue at arm's length. And when Purdue finally hit that big play, they hit the 89-yarder to David Bell and Cam Taylor-Britt and Markel Dismuke collided with each other. Guess what? Nebraska was up by 7. It didn't tie the game. It didn't put them down by 10. They still had a touchdown lead. And Nebraska answered with a field goal drive, aided by a Purdue penalty. Yes, indeed, a personal foul penalty that was legitimate. A late hit on Xavier Betts, unnecessary roughness, all the rest. That was an important moment in the game. There's no question about that. But Nebraska was able to answer with that field goal drive. And when they did that, they went up 10, and Husker defense got 2 more stops after that. And this is just kind of a team win. I think you're going to hear Scott Frost say it was a team victory. Each phase did something good. The offense did a little bit. The special teams did a little bit. The defense did a little bit. And Purdue did its part too. I mean, they made some mistakes and weird play calls at times and some really stupid penalties. I mean, Nebraska had its share of bad ones, but Purdue had 2 or 3 just stupid penalties, and it hurt them. But Nebraska pulls out a win here. I know that they wanted this one badly because of what happened last year here in West Lafayette, and of course they just needed a win to confirm that things are going in the right direction. And I think they probably got that today. Martinez solidified, his status as a starter. They're a modest offense at this point. They're modest. And that's not really where they want to be long-term, but they can kind of make it work. And if they can lean on their defense, well, maybe that's a formula that wins them a couple more games this year, which is kind of what they're looking for, and then gets them into the offseason when they've got to figure out a way to juice some big plays. They would have had one today if Austin Allen hadn't been, bitten by the turf monster here at Purdue, which caused some injuries today. But, they're working on their offense. It's a work in progress and may be a work in progress for a while. But this is about as good as Nebraska's defense has been in 4 years. That's encouraging. And the special teams was solid. Connor Culp is one of the best kickers in the Big Ten. He's 11 of 12 now, made a 49-yarder. So Nebraska will take this win. They'll take it and run with it. They'll either play Minnesota next week, maybe Rutgers, maybe Ohio State. I guess we'll find out. But I think they're going to play Minnesota, and I think they'll be favored in that game. And I think they have a good chance to win it, which means they'd finish 3-4. And they play a crossover game, and who knows? Maybe you're looking at a bowl game. Nebraska can try to use this win as momentum toward the end of the season. That's all we've got today. Thanks to Pinnacle Bank, and thanks to you, Husker fans. I'm Sam McKewon with the Omaha World-Herald. Big Red Today at omaha.com. Thanks.